Hello, my name is Holland Timmons, otherwise known on this channel as The Connoisseur, and today I will be reviewing James Whale's 1933 classic, The Invisible Man. I believe in the original Invisible Man, the H.G. Wells book, the main character was experimenting with different rays. In the movie, it was a formula created with monocaine. In each instance, this monster was not created by the supernatural, but was caused by the thirst for scientific knowledge. Author H.G. Wells was not happy with the movie The Island of Lost Souls. It was an early adaptation of his book titled The Island of Dr. Moreau. Orson Welles caused mass hysteria throughout the country with his infamous H.G. Wells War of the Worlds broadcast. H.G. Wells waited with held breath for someone to do an adaptation of one of his books in a more respectful manner. James Whale hoped to create a new franchise for the Universal Studios with H.G. Wells' The Invisible Man, wanting to avoid his inevitable return to direct The Bride of Frankenstein. The Invisible Man in the movie is played to great effect by Claude Rains in his first movie role. This movie launched Rains' career. He would go on to play the role of John Talbot in The Wolf Man, and the role of Prince John in the costume picture The Adventures of Robin Hood. He'd go on to do other roles as well. The Invisible Man was the other special effects spectacle of 1933, right under King Kong. The love interest was played by Gloria Stewart, who would later go on to win an Oscar when she played the elderly Rose in James Cameron's film Titanic. In the sequel, The Invisible Man Returns, the role of the Invisible Man was played by B-movie legend Vincent Price, who would not be the last time Price played the character. The series would create the Invisible Man genre, including Hollow Man, directed by Paul Verhoeven. The one spin-off of James Whale would have loved was a short skit in the film Amazon Women on the Moon. The skit was called The Son of the Invisible Man, about a naked man who only thought he was invisible while the helpless townsfolk humor his delusions. James Whale probably would have made that movie in the 1930s if he thought the censors would let him get away with it. James Whale often treated the angry villagers as complete idiots. James identified himself more with the unique monsters in his films, since they were outcasts like him who were mistreated. This personal connection with monsters is because he was openly gay in the 1930s when gays were often persecuted. Anyway, the Invisible Man starts in winter, and he is bundled up quite like this, and is arriving at an inn, and he is experimenting in a room he rents. He is quite irritable, obviously, because he's invisible, and wants to get back to being visible. But the townsfolk won't leave him alone. So once the police comes, he's like, "You're crazy to know who I am, aren't you? Well, I'll show you. Here, have this." And he throws his nose and undoes his bandages and goes on this havoc, causing chaos spree. And, everybody's like, "He's invisible." And then, the police are called, and it's reported as a mass hysteria thing. And then the Invisible Man makes his presence known, and everybody's looking for the Invisible Man. Well, how do you find an Invisible Man? Or who does the Invisible Man go to? Well, he goes to Paul Kemp, and he makes a deal with him that he won't kill Kemp as long as he helps him out from time to time and gives him a place to rest. Well, Kemp is obviously freaked out by this and calls the police, and, Invisible Man is seen by his girlfriend, fiance, I forget, played by Gloria Stewart, and he gives this great monologue. I can't say it verbatim, but he's talking about creating selling the secret of invisibility to create an invisible army. He looks up at the moon and says, "Look, even the moon is afraid of me," or terrified of me, or something. It's a great monologue. And, then the police come, and he goes on another rampage, and he kills Paul Kemp, and anyway, there is a huge manhunt for the Invisible Man, and while it's snowing, he finds shelter in this barn, and as he's sleeping in the hay, this farmer hears snoring, but he can't see anybody, so he figures it must be the Invisible Man, so he tips off the police. And the police surround the barn, they light it on fire, they wait for the invisible footsteps in the snow, and they shoot him. Anyway, he falls down, and then they drag him off to the hospital, and there he reappears as he dies. And, yeah, that's the only time you see Claude Rains' face in the picture. It's a great movie, and you can obviously get The Invisible Man with the Legacy collection from Universal. There are some other Invisible Man movies. As I said, there's Revenge of the Invisible Man. Let's see, just a second. The Invisible Man Returns, which stars Vincent Price, The Invisible Woman, The Invisible Agent, and The Invisible Man's Revenge, which has Evelyn Ankers in yet another Universal monster movie. Evelyn Ankers was also in The Wolfman and Son of Dracula and Ghost of Frankenstein, so she's been in quite a few movies. I sort of have a thing for her. She's obviously attractive and can act. Obviously she's dead, but, well, that doesn't stop me from having a thing for her. But anyway, that's The Invisible Man, and yeah, I would rate it around a 9 out of 10. I will talk to you guys later. This is the Connoisseur signing off.